All right, so we're now recording this. So previously we talked about where you can find this stuff. So it's in our Modern Agent Drive. If you want to read the drip campaigns that are going out, they're all right here. The first 10 days, here's everything that your client sees. All right, Matt's leaving, so get quiet now. So everything your client sees is right here. Just learn it. Read this stuff, learn it. You'll know exactly where they are. So this is a 9-month buyer drip because we're estimating that people start looking on our site at 6 to 9 months out when they're getting orders in their order window. It's all right here. Read it, learn it, click on the links, see what happens, because this is the emails that are going out. And remember Rodney's training when we did the new construction, which is available on the YouTube channel. All the docs are right here. I can't specifically find the MRG stuff, which I will take that as a lookup, but it's on .loop. So if you log into .loop, sign in our folders. So if you come up here to templates, which gives you access to all our folders, right? MRG documents. So everything right here, I'll refer payment to the office, seller roadmap, the pledge. You guys should familiarize yourself with stuff. Go through, click on it, read it, print it out, take it with you, study it. There's a bunch of cool things. Buyer agency explained. The client asks you, do I have to pay you to represent me as a buying agent? Oh, here's a PDF flyer right here, already made. So today we're going to talk about the consultation. Here's the seller consultation. Where is our buyer consultation? There it is. So you can grab it. You can go ahead and download it if you want. It's in a PDF style, but think of it like a slide, like a PowerPoint. So I've done, I don't know, quite a few of these with my first-time buyers, and even if they're not a first-time buyer, maybe they haven't bought a house in a while. This thing steps you through the entire process. It's not as detailed as the roadmap, so you can give them the roadmap to read on their own. This is with you talking with them on a Zoom. Could be on a Zoom. You know, it could be in the office. It doesn't matter, but this is built for you. So we have the home consultation for buyers, and we have the home consultation for sellers. So the cool thing about this, and I'm just going to skip to the end real quick and then we'll backtrack, is it drives you to do the things that we are kind of struggling with at certain points. Some of you guys come to me and say, you know, I never got them to sign this, or, you know, I missed a step in the process. I said, did you do a consultation with them? Did you sit down and go over this stuff? Did you jump on a Zoom call? So when you get through with the consultation, it drives you to sign the loyalty agreement. What's the loyalty agreement, Peter?
It's exclusivity for yourself and the client.
Is it a contract?
No.
What is it? Who's seen the video on our website with Logan explaining it? You can say no.
No, I haven't.
All right, so on our page, Modern Realty Guam, both buying and selling, there's YouTube video embedded. And anyone that goes to this page, they click get the guide right here, it's going to force them to give us their info. And it gives them the 28-page buyer roadmap for free, no questions asked, except for their info. I guess that's the question. But now we have their info, right? And we know that they're looking. But if they watch this video, then click it right here. So Peter, is the loyalty agreement a contract?
It's not a signed contract, but I forgot it's some sort some form of contract. I forgot what it's called.
Who's used it? So check this out. What does this say? Modern Realty Guam loyalty agreement. All parties involved hereby agree to the following terms. The modern agent. Who's the modern agent? That's us, right? So we agree to provide all the benefits of the Modern Advantage program, which is what? What do we offer? Maria? Miku?
I'm sorry, what?
What do we offer in the Modern Advantage program?
Eh,
Sell me. Miku?
the our website,
What else?
is that what it is?
What else do we offer?
access.
You're saying all we offer is a website?
So no, our ads, our marketing.
This is buyers. What do they care about that?
We
I guess
provide a
like our
free
knowledge
buyer's
on the
roadmap,
buying program.
as well as a consultation with the agents alongside the broker, which is you.
What do the next bullet points say?
Low stress buying experience to represent you through all phases of transactions.
Low stress buying experience, honesty and ethically represent you through all phases of the transaction, communicate regularly and accessibly with you, proactive search for and investigate listings on your behalf, make every effort to accommodate your schedule for showing appointments and consultations, to negotiate on your behalf in your best interest, and to never charge you for these services. How does that sound? You're muted.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, it's good, right? So what else? What else do we offer? I say it all the time that we're the only firm on the island that has what? You keep muting yourself.
At home signing.
What is it?
At home signing, so you don't have to meet us in person. We do everything through tech.
Well, anyone that's a realtor can do that, right? Because they have access to zip forms and
Loop.
Authentisign, .loop. What do you guys use to manage your clients?
Real geeks.
Okay. Via a what on your phone?
Real geeks.
App.
An app. Okay, so what do we have for our buyers that no one else on the island has?
Just an app on our.
Just an app. Just an app. You gotta sell this stuff, right? I'm asking you these terms to sell me on these things. So Modern Advantage program, right? Like we're the only firm on the island that offers our own app that directly connects you to your agent. Whether you favorite, want to see, want more information, we'll always know and be there for you immediately. Communicate regularly and accessibly with you. Who is our preferred insurance agent and what are the benefits of working with us via them? Do you guys remember?
Yeah. Well, is it Alpha Insurers?
Alpha Insurers. And our buyers get a discount if they say they work with Modern Realty. I've signed an agreement with them.
Is it me or you're choppy?
Am I choppy? You guys tell me.
It was like, I think it's me.
You sound fine.
Okay, so it's
Was
you,
that Guam Insurance?
Alpha.
Oh, okay. Alpha.
Alpha.
Is that on our dot loop or it's not?
What's up? Yeah, we're gonna do Zoom today, but you can sit with me and watch too. I have my screen. I can't cast for some reason. It's not working. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll drop you the link. 1 second, guys. Alpha Insurance, right? So today or yesterday, I already put my buyers in contact with Vets at Alpha before they've even bought a house. They already know who their insurance agent is and they're ready. And they've already explained the process. They said, hey, we can give you a sample policy based on, you know, what you're looking to buy, or and then she further explained that as soon as you get the appraisal, we go off the rebuild cost and we will update your policy. And just like that, my client's questions were answered as far as the insurance is concerned, and we were moving on to bigger and better things. So they already know who their agent was. I brought the agent into the loop with us. So as soon as I get the appraisal, I just share that right with them and we rock and roll. So if you can't answer those questions, make sure you're asking. Make sure you're coming to our trainings and understanding our processes to make your clients educated, right? It's all about educated buyers to make our lives easier. Okay, so basically what they're saying is like, we're gonna do a job for them, right? We're not gonna charge them. We're gonna work our tails off to the best thing we can. The modern buyer, what are we asking them? You know, I think probably at least 50% of you have come to me and said, hey, it turns out my client was working with another agent. And what's the first question that I ask you? Miku.
Could you repeat that question again?
So I said about 50% of you have come to me and said that you've worked with clients and it turns out they were working with other agents. And what's the first question that I ask back to you?
Did you make them sign the loyalty agreement?
Well, it's not even did he make them sign. Did you do a consultation with them that drives us to this point? Did you ask them what question? What's the first question you should ask your client?
Are you working with another realtor?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What if they say yes?
Just offer a hand. And say, hey, if anything doesn't work out with them, I'm here.
Then
I'm
isn't
here.
it technically we're not supposed to approach? Or
It just came to you.
if they say yes?
Have them choose whether they want to work with us or the other agent?
Yeah, they would have to be the one to decide, right? The customer?
Right. You hear that?
What you're saying.
Okay. I'll plug it so you guys can hear.
Mention next breakdown.
So the point is, do we have an agreement to the buyer side in our standard forms as Guam Association of Realtor agents? What do you think? No? Maria's shaking her head no? Let's look. How many of you guys have gone through the master folder just to see what forms are in there? And read them. But
Not me.
If you haven't, do it. You come right here to the top. So let's just type buyer and see what comes up. Oh, look at that. The first thing that pops, buyer representation agreement exclusive. Can you use this? Why not? Maria says no. Why do you think no?
I don't know, because like this is a binding agreement, right? So any what do you call that? Any issues with the transaction, if your clients aren't happy, then you guys have to go to mediation immediately.
Do you?
The broker, pretty much, it says broker and the client.
So I hire you as my buyer's agent. To get rid of you, I have to go to mediation.
I don't know if this one, how it works in this one yet.
Can I simply say your services are no longer required? All right, so read up on the buyer exclusive agreement. The answer is yes, you can break this immediately. What happens if you got a buyer exclusive agreement and you showed, we'll use my new listing, 205 Borja. You showed 205 Borja today and you didn't show up. I was there. I said, hey, are you working with another agent? They said no. And they said, we would like to write an offer on this house. Can you help us? And I say, yeah. And we write the offer. And I present it to my sellers. And they accept it. And we close. And I collect the commission for both sides. What recourse do you have? Peter, what do you think?
They breach the contract because they signed this agreement.
Okay, so who goes after who?
I go after them.
You're gonna go after the buyer and get paid?
Or the whoever sold that to them.
Jodine, what do you think?
I think the first agent.
What would you have to prove?
Right.
You guys remember the stuff from your real estate class?
I have to prove that they exclusively signed up with me.
Is that it? Do you guys remember the words procuring cause?
Oh, yeah.
So they show up to a listing with no representation, say they don't have an agent, write an offer and close. You find out that your client bought a house. Would I owe you commission?
Doesn't it depend on the different types of whether it was gosh, I'm trying to remember. There were those two type of agreements.
No, so the previous agent didn't show the 205 Borja, therefore the agent who caused the buyer to buy the home would get the commission.
It's a tricky situation. There's definitely some legal ramifications there, and it may not be as simple as a straight answer of yes or no. Did you show that property before and they came back to it? Were they off wandering on their own? Have there been any communication since then? Were they unhappy with them and they told them they didn't want to work anymore? You never know. we got down the rabbit hole, but the question was, is there a form that we have for exclusive buyer representation in our forms? And the answer is yes. So if you guys don't know what forms we have available, click through that stuff. You will learn a lot just from clicking through and reading these forms and seeing what they have to say and knowing the tools that you have at your disposal. It'll take me weeks and weeks and weeks to read this stuff with you. So on your own, go through it and click through it, make it happen. So this is a contractual agreement. Ours is also technically a contractual agreement, and we do sign. It was right there. It's a loyalty agreement, right? We do sign it at the bottom. Buyer, agent, name, date, agreed upon. Modern buyer, to work exclusively with your agent to investigate and view homes for sale. To inform for sale by owners, sellers, and new construction builders that you intend to be represented by your agent. Why is that one important?
Because we don't work for free.
Well, what happens if your buyer goes and talks to a FSBO without you?
Without signing this contract?
They're driving around looking for houses because you haven't been sending them enough listings and taking care of and checking on them like they wanted to. So they're a little frustrated. They see a sign that says for sale by owner, and they call the number on the sign, and the owner says, come on in, let me show you around. And they say, oh, we love this house. What predicament are you in?
Without this contract, right?
Nothing?
You'll work one-on-one.
Yeah, how do we get paid usually?
After close of the sale.
Yep, close of the sale,
Yeah.
right? From either the sellers or the owners, if it's a lease. So by them going directly to the for sale by owner, they cut you out. You have to now insert yourself back into the situation to create value for both sides. And it's not easy. Because that for sale by owner guy is going to say, well, they called me. Why do I need you? Why do I need to pay you commission? I can go down the street to an attorney at the title company and get a standard contract, and we sign it. We're good to go. You just lost out on that sale, right? Where the difference is, if you had this conversation, you explain to them, hey, we work on a commission base, and we're going to work our tails off for you. So if we're going to do that and commit to you, we would like you to commit to us. And instead of executing a formal contractual contract that we have in our standard forms, we have this no obligation handshake style agreement. We agree to do all this stuff for you, and we're simply asking for you to work with us and to talk with us first. How does that sound? You mean I don't have to pay you? No. Melanie and I had a breakup with a client, I guess, if you will. So a deal fell through, and she told me that the questions that we were getting from the client were very strange. We had told them multiple times that our relationship between them and Modern Realty was over, and they kept asking more and more and more. And basically, what we kind of figured out was they were trying to get us to tell them how much they owed us. Because they thought they owed us money since we'd been working with them for months, right? We said, you don't owe us anything. But if we would have had this conversation up front, maybe things were been a little bit differently, because they were upset the deal didn't go through. They were upset, stressors of buying and selling houses. We all know how it is. Use these tools and it will help you both on the front end and on the back end. So when you get down to the bottom, inform any listing agents at an open house or otherwise you've already hired an agent. I'm already working with an agent. If you get those words, that agent, per our ethics guides, should not engage, right? But if they come up to you and say, hey, I had an agent, they haven't really sent me any stuff, I found this property on my own, they're not even here, I'm super frustrated, I'm looking for other avenues. And you could say, hey, well, I would love to do a buyer consultation with you and explain to you what services I can offer. But if you're going to work with me, you need to tell your other agent that you're no longer working with them. It's that simple. You gave them the value add, you told them what you could do for them, and you made them make the decision. And by driving them here to this form, it's a simple, hey, this is what we're going to do for you. We ask that you do these things for us. And if we can do that, I'd be happy to work together with you. You don't have to, like, you guys a lot of times feel like you have to take every client. If they're jerking you around, and I'm not saying don't take them just because the deal's not easy. Sometimes you got to work really hard to make things happen. But they're jerking you around, you got some funny feelings, you've had these hard conversations with you, you could say, hey, do you want to continue to work with me? Don't take the stuff personal. Don't feel like you have to close everyone, and if you didn't, then you're a failure. That's not the case. There's thousands of deals out there to happen, and we need to focus our time and energy on the ones that we should, by our preparation, be successful with and make money, because that's how we make money, right? On the commission side when things close. To provide a review of your agent at the brokerage after closing. To consider referring your agent to anyone you know planning a home purchase or sale, and to allow your agent to post a sold by sign in your yard for 7 days after closing. That's it. That's all we're asking for. We're going to give you all this stuff. We're going to connect you with all our people. You know, if you need something, you want to renovate, we have those connections. You need your yard done, we have those connections. You want us to manage it on the backside, we have that service. You can explain all this to them up front, get them to sign, and you're moving on. So that's the end of the consultation. It drives you. I literally did this, and I swear I wish I would have recorded it. I didn't. We were on this slide, contract versus loyalty, and they were like, man, that sounds great. I'm so happy that you met with me and explained all this. What's next? And it was like, it's so easy. The product drives it for you. What's next? I scrolled to the next slide. Oh, here's our next steps. We're going to sign the loyalty agreement that we just discussed. I just sent it to you for electronic signature and dot loop. I've already set an appointment with John at Penn Fed for 10 o'clock tomorrow. You're going to work on your pre-approval, complete your buyer criteria checklist. If you want, you can just shoot to me in WhatsApp, you know, what your criteria is, you know, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, what village you want to be in. If you don't know anything about their family yet, get that information. Do you have kids? Do you want a fenced yard? Do you have a dog? And that way, when you get that pre-approval and that amount, you're on the hunt, right? Ready to go. Paperwork's good. Begin your search, right? So coming back up to the beginning, the home buyer consultation, right? The slideshow was built for you. Use it. The home buying process, 6 parts. You guys hear me ask you sometimes, well, where are you at in the home buying process? Where are you at in the life cycle? What happens at the end of every buyer life cycle? When you close on that property, down the street at security title, your buyers are super happy. Guess what they are that they don't know it yet?
Your future clients again.
What kind of clients?
Either property management, or maybe they're gonna sell in a few years when they PCS again, or
Yeah, they're instantly at the very beginning of their seller life cycle, right? They just don't know it yet. So now you have a client that you're tracking, either Real Geeks, your spreadsheet, your CRM, you know, wherever it is you're tracking, you make them a past client, find out what their time on island is. If it's 3-year tour, you should be hitting them up at year 2, seeing what their plans are. Find out when their birthdays are, find out when their anniversaries are, and set those reminders on your calendars. Send them a card, give them a call, send them a text. You have no idea how far that stuff goes, as well as keeping yourself top of mind in their mind. Does that make sense? So the process, Jodine, what you got?
No, I was just gonna say yes.
The process is simple: prepare, search, offer, finance, due diligence, close. It may be, you know, the systematic approach that we have here. Not everything will go exactly 100% in this order, but for the most part, it is. Prepare, hire a buyer's agent, obtain your mortgage, define your criteria. You start searching. You make an offer, negotiate. You submit all the docs. You do your home inspections, appraisals. You order your title insurance, and you schedule closing. It's that simple. It's the home buying process. Now, being familiar with this slideshow, you don't want to sit here and talk about everything because this breaks it down into very systematic parts, right? Prepare and search. What is a realtor? Well, as a realtor, isn't that the same as a real estate agent? No, we got to go through the whole spiel of, we hold ourselves to a higher code of ethics, right? What happens? What are you as a buyer's agent? What are you as a seller's agent? What are you as a dual agent? What does that mean? What happens if we represent both sides? What form do we got to give them? Jodine?
What was your question?
If we represent both sides, what form do we have to give to each side?
The dual agent.
Yeah, there's a dual agency form notifying them that Modern Realty is representing both sides. So that could be Peter and Maria. That could be Rick and Jodine. That could be Jodine and Jodine. She could represent both sides. If it's modern to modern, it's dual agency. How is a realtor compensated? We work to get you into a home. The listing agent office pays us to bring a qualified buyer. They are the qualified buyer. So we're trying to bring them to the home on the buying agent side to sell that house, right? Why should you hire a buyer's agent? Go through the benefits. Hey, exclusive representation. We work only on your behalf. Even if I'm going up against, let's say we have another agent in our office and they're the listing agent, I still represent you. My fiduciary responsibility is to you. We have access to listings from all their brokerages. That's when you can talk about the app and how they're connected to you. The market statistics. Our website shows the market reports, right? Shows all for each village, the active and pending listings, and can group them into real nice categories. Objective and unbiased advice. You're there for them, right? You're not there for the listing side. In this case, you're there to represent your buyer. They're going to be asking you questions, but if you familiarized yourself with this, you can help guide them through it. Well, what paperwork? We just had that question, Miku and I in a group chat. What paperwork do I need for my pre-approval? And these people have bought a house before. I think they bought a couple of houses. But people, they looked to us as the experts. They get tunnel vision on this stuff. They just moved to the new island potentially. They got a lot of things going on in their life, and they forget. Hey, you're going to need pay stubs, you're going to need W-2s, you need bank statements. Your lender can tell you more about specific criteria for your situation, but these are usually the general documents that you need. So if you can prepare that stuff for your meeting that we set for you tomorrow, it'll go a long way to help get your pre-approval done. It's that simple. Determining your loan program. As experience comes, you guys will start to learn what products are available on the loan side. You hear me, jump from one to the other and talk very fluidly about it. That takes time. Talk to lenders, see what's going on. We know that PenFed does 2.25% for VA with practically no points right now. We're not saying that they're going to give no points. We don't know that, but we know what's going on in the market. We have preferred lenders that we send people to, and that's part of our Advantage program. Define buying criteria. Maria, what were some of the questions that you asked your first buyer when they were searching for a home?
My internet is unstable. Hold on. What's the question again?
What were some of the questions that you asked your first buyer when they were buying their home?
No. Have they been pre-approved? This is the first question.
Okay, which does what? Determines their price range, right?
So pre-approval.
We're just gonna start showing them houses without that paperwork?
No, not really. So usually our preferred lenders are very quick to provide a pre-qualification letter. So, either Norcom is pretty fast and PenFed if you really know who to talk to. And then once you get the letter, pretty much you can go for Because, you know, like they might think they can afford a place, but not until they find, you know, get their pre-qualification letter, like maybe they can't. And you just wasted time.
So you talk through this, you know, hey, understanding your buying power. What I don't want to do is show you something that maybe is above your price range, but get your hopes up, because that creates a negative situation, right? We never want to put ourselves in a place where we're simply the bad guy. You know, we can be firm and fair. We say that term a lot, but you want to be like, hey, you told me I could do this, or hey, you said this thing, it's not really true. So we got to remember, under promise, over deliver. Searching for homes. You talk about the app. Hey, we're gonna do some showings this weekend. I have someone's picked out. Did you have a couple that you were thinking about? And you could say, you know, they might come back with 15 of them and say like, look, there's no way that we can see 15 houses in a day. And in my experience of however long you've been doing real estate, I like to keep it to 5 or less. And they'll be like, oh, 5. And like, you explain why, you know. You look at 10 houses, you have no idea what you looked at. Those first few are all going to blend together, and they're not going to remember the pros and cons. They're not going to remember where it even was or how much it costs, and you basically wasted the whole day. So do 5. Do 5 and say, you know, hey, what did you like about this one? Hey, what did you like about that one? Within 1 or 2 houses, I already know what my buyers want. You can already tell what kind of kitchen they want, what kind of bathroom they want. And you start thinking, what have I seen lately that makes sense for this? It may not even be on their list. You go, oh, I know this one. It's not on our list. I think we should scrub the other 2 for the rest of the day, because what I've seen for you so far, those I've already been in them and they are not it. But I do know one that I think you're really going to like, and I would like to take you there right now. Take them over there. If it doesn't work out, say, all right, we looked at 3 today. They were all within your requirements. I think we should regroup, come up with a new plan, look at a couple more tomorrow. Do not show 10 to 15 houses in a day. You're going to be exhausted. They're going to be exhausted. They're going to be tired, and they're not going to remember anything. But you got to set these expectations up front. Visiting open houses. Are we doing open houses? Okay. Can we do open houses?
Yes. We haven't really. Oh, we did. Padua.
What's the current guidelines, Chris? Open houses. Can we have them? Yeah, so our restrictions were pushed back up to where we can do open houses again. How we did it before was it scheduled showings, right? So 15-minute intervals or 30-minute intervals, whatever it is. We met COVID guidelines by signing them up for times. Even though it was back-to-back showings for the same property, it wasn't an open house. But now we can again, so you know, maybe that starts moving the market even faster. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. Why not to call listing agents? What do you guys think? What would be your reasoning? There's not a wrong answer. I just want to hear your thoughts. Peter?
It's multiple people, so there's not just one person. So it's they're not exclusive
They'll
to
sell you their asking price straight up.
Yeah, so you know, there's multiple strategies here. Hey, I'm tracking all your stuff. I have your best interest at heart. We already had our meetings. I know your criteria. I represent you in a fiduciary responsibility. I'm going to leverage to get the best deal that I possibly can for you. You go talk to the listing agent, you know, they represent the sellers, right? So they're trying to sell the house for the sellers, and you may not get the best deal where I'm here for you. Something along those lines. You know, get a feel for your client. This is probably your first meeting. So 30 minutes. I think you can get through this in 30 minutes with them, talking to get to know them. You can stop as needed for questions. If you talked ahead and covered some stuff on the next slide, just say things like, you know, hey, we kind of talked about this already. Remember I said X, Y, and Z and move on. Because we want to drive them. Right now, they're a lead that we think we're turning into a client. So we want to drive them to becoming a client. We drive them to becoming a client by, signing the loyalty agreement, getting them pre-approved, starting the search, and then writing offers, right? Don't call FSBO'S. We already talked about that. They cut you out. They may overpay for a house. They may underpay for a house. I'll give you a specific example. January last year, January 2020, I had one of my buyers call FSBO without me, and they were agreeing, like, without even understanding what it was they're agreeing to prices that were just astronomical because they wanted the house. Well, when they called me, I was like, oh goodness. It's like the worst case scenario, right? Your $500,000 buyer talked to FSBO, and FSBO doesn't want to deal with real estate agents. It's a tough situation to insert yourself back into. Well, if I remember right, the guy originally said he was going to list his house for $600,000, and granted, this was 18 months ago. Things weren't super crazy yet. The neighbor said, "Don't let it go for anything less than this." I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. We ended up, I think, going under contract for $525,000, but my market analysis put the house at $490,000. I inserted myself back into the situation, actually got paid commission, but it was a very, very difficult deal. I was basically, without representing the seller, having to cater to like their every need to get everything done. They didn't want to talk to me because they'd already talked to the buyers. They never understood why they had to pay me commission. I just made it happen, right? I got kind of lucky in a way, but the house appraisal came back at $490,100, and my buyers, without me, were like willing to pay $575,000. Those kind of experiences, example, you can say, you can use to explain why they shouldn't drive around and call owners. If you find a property, shoot a picture of the number, text me the address, and I will negotiate and do the intro on your behalf. Because then you can call the seller and say, hey, I have a qualified buyer for your home, and go into your pitch on creating that value and why they should pay you commission to bring you that offer. Contract voice loyalty. We just watched the video. You could have them watch the video. You could watch it together to share your screen and click over to it. Say, hey, here's a super lengthy contract with a bunch of words on it. I really want to work with you. I want to do a handshake style agreement. This is what we do here at Modern Realty. If you don't like my service, if I'm not meeting your requirements, that's fine. Please tell me so I can try to get better. But if you're just completely unhappy, then I would gladly, refer you to someone else that I think will more be suited for you. You don't have to take it personally. It's going to happen. You're going to lose clients. But now we've created this, negative connotation on the buyer exclusive contract and this positive connotation on our loyalty agreement. And you drive them to the next steps, which is sign the loyalty agreement. We're going to get you pre-approved. Oh, I just received the email back confirming your appointment tomorrow. And we're going to go ahead and get you signed up on the website. Here's the link to the app Move To. It's available on both the Play Store and the iOS. So go ahead and download that. It'll connect you directly to me. And you have my personal WhatsApp. Boom. Do you guys have any questions? No, that was great. I know we went over a lot of stuff today. So we have a little more detailed version that's for you. It's already on our website if you ever forget, but I'm going to put it into your WhatsApp and send it to your email right now. And you give them the roadmap. So now you spent 30 minutes with this client. You've already answered pretty much all their questions about the buying process. Yes, they're going to come back and ask you again. But they have these tools at their disposal. So maybe they look at them and they don't ask you. So now you minimized your face time on stuff that you've already covered in the future by creating an educated client, providing them with tools that they can look at on their own. And then you've also moved the process forward into some of our first and second steps by getting them pre-qualified so that you can understand their buying power, so that you can define their purchase price and start their search criteria. Does that make sense? Peter, what you got?
that I should read the buyer's consultation and that it's the best use of educating the client.
Yeah, and
myself.
they may come to you and say, I bought a house 5 times at every station I've ever been to. You know, I don't need all this stuff. Just tell me how it works on Guam. And then you just do a modified, condensed consultation. You may not even need the PowerPoints, but people learn differently, right? Some people, I can sit in the room and talk to them. They're good to go. Some people need to see pictures, right? Some people need to hear stuff over and over. People learn differently, and that's okay. But these products are available to you, and I use them and they work. So if I'm using them, they're working, and you're not using them, you're struggling, get on over to these systems, learn the buyer life cycle, learn the seller life cycle, and use the stuff that we spend a lot of time and money on to make your lives easier. Cool. What questions do you have about this? Miku, you're the one that wanted to do this. What questions you got? If I wanted to learn more or watch this training again, where would I go? You're still muted.
The website or the drive.
Where do we put our trainings?
Oh, on YouTube. You can check out the trainings on YouTube.
Yep, so on the Modern Realty channel, it's obviously different for me because it's under my channel, but the link is available. You go to the playlist. There's a bunch of good stuff right here. And we still have a few more that Hills is condensing down and editing a little bit. But there was already a Modern Agent Buyer Products Rundown. And yes, back when we did that one, half of it was talking about what was going on in the firm at the time. But the back half is going through a lot of the products that we just went over. So some of this stuff is already here and available for you guys. Watch these videos if you need a refresher. If you got questions about .loop, there's huge support forums on their YouTube, on their website. Real Geeks, click up here on the 9 dots. We talked about this so many times. Training and walkthroughs. And support is step-by-step items. I have a question that I want you guys to ask, and I'm waiting for someone to ask. What other questions do you have?
Oh, I have a lot of questions.
Jodine, what do you got?
Okay, one moment.
Get a screenshot of all of us. Got it.
Yeah.
Your questions, Jodine?
I'll pass for now.
Peter?
So the loyalty form and the exclusive, those two forms, they're the same, right? And so, will one hold like better in court than the other?
Are they the same?
Oh man.
Why don't you read the buyer exclusive agreement and then read ours and get back to me on that.
Okay.
Chris, you got any questions? I have a question that I want you to ask. Wow, Matt, that's really good. What other products do we have? Oh, great. I'm so glad that you guys asked. There's some cool stuff in here. We do buyer agency explained yet? Modern pledge. What is buyer agency? Like I said, you could send this to them. Quick, down and dirty. What is a buyer's agent? Why you should hire one? You know, what does this mean for you? They may be routinely experienced in buying before, but just don't remember what was what. So you shoot this over to them real quick. Oh yeah. You know, what is these advantages that they're talking about down at the bottom? Oh, look, the modern pledge. Here's all the stuff that we can do for you. Granted, this is on the listing side, but use the tools, learn about our products, learn about our partnerships. I am trying to create like a SharePoint style page. I have some people working on it to make this stuff a little easier at your disposal. But for the short term, I've tasked Hills to put all our flyers, pamphlets, all that kind of stuff organized into the modern agent. So when she comes back, I think starting tomorrow, she's gonna start working on that stuff. But use the Google Drive and use Dotloop and look through the master folders and read about all that stuff. Click through different types of contracts, understand what different forms there are. You know, there's referral forms, there's property management forms, there's different types of leases, there's different types of purchase agreements. There's all kinds of stuff in there that you guys on your own time can click through and read and say, oh, I didn't even know that was in there. That makes perfect sense that that form is there. There's a dual agency form. There's a disclosure for whatever, you know. There's a lot of cool stuff that's already made for us at our disposal. Does this help? Understanding the buyer consultation? Could you guys do one on your own? Yes, no, maybe so. This was terrible. You guys are all just staring at me.
Great training.
Mika, could you do a buyer consultation?
Me?
With you? Maybe with a little more practice, then yes.
So what I would encourage you to do is grab, you know, peer-to-peer, you know, looking at the group, what do we got? Rick. So if you guys don't know, Rick was a agent at 2 different firms, I think at Keller Williams and EXP in Florida. So he has a lot of experience, even though he hasn't done his license stuff here yet. So feel free to ask him too. Hey, Peter, what are you doing at 3 o'clock tomorrow? Learning about real estate. Cool. You want to practice doing buyer consultations together? Yes, I would love to do that. And you guys jump on a Zoom call for 15 minutes and run through these slides together to get familiar with it. And then you can say, hey, Matt, I want to do, you know, kind of a checkout one to see if I'm good to go to talk to buyers. We'll set up a time. My calendar is public information. You type it in on Google for our office and my calendar is there, calendly.com/MattMRG. You can get on my calendar anytime. You don't have to text me to ask me if I'm available. Just pick a time and whatever it is that you want to do, we can do it. You want to do a buyer roadmap run through, you want to do a seller roadmap run through, you want to do a listing appointment mock-up, just set it up. You don't have to wait for me to pull it out of you. Just get on my calendar and then we'll do it. That sound good?
Yeah. Hey, Matt, can you, on your WhatsApp about you, can you add your Calendly in there?
On the WhatsApp business? What was your question?
So, in your WhatsApp information, so if I click your name in WhatsApp, you have your about me here, right? Can you also add a link to your Calendly here? So I
Sure.
Calendly.
Yep. And also, if you ever forget, all you have to type is Modern Realty Guam, and you click right there. It's embedded into our page. You're instantly onto my calendar. Boom. Buyer consultation, seller consultation, 30-minute meeting, 15-minute meeting, and there's a group. So if you guys want to jump on the call together to go over something, you just pick the time, pick it together, join, and it creates the Zoom call information, and we all have it. It shows up on my calendar, and it shows up on your calendar. It's that simple. But yes, I can put it on my WhatsApp as well. What else? Chris, what else? Jodine, you got your questions yet? I'm asking you specifically since last week you said I didn't answer your question, so I want to make sure that I answer it for you.
I do, sir. So my question is, I'm trying to send that, that whole folder to my rental client. I'm able to do that straight from Loop, right?
Okay, so for a rental client, remember, create the loop, you get the template, and luckily our lease one is almost foolproof. There's still 1 or 2 mistakes that we make every now and then that you guys have pointed out to me that we can fix. So, 1, 2, 3, Main Street. Slide this down. Template, leasing agent, right? So creates the loop. And we just went through this with Miku, so this is good knowledge for everyone. You can share stuff. Remember, it's user level access control. So I could bring everyone in this meeting into the loop and you couldn't see any of these files because I could share each one of the files with you individually, and I can control what level of access you have. So if you're just trying to send the application to your client to get them to fill it out, bring them into the loop, and when you click share, you're going to give them can fill and sign access for the app. And that's for that file, for that person. You can give them, edit in private if you want, but you're allowing them to modify your document, a little more control that I'd be comfortable with. So fill and sign. Now, when they log into .loop, they can only see that application to rent because that's the only file that you shared with them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
In regards to the 3 required documents, the reason why the addendum 1 is optional is because there's one for military and there's one for non-military that we've pre-made. So when you go, you've typed everything up, you're ready for me to look at it, you don't share the loop with me, you come up here to the top and you click submit for review. When you click submit for review, yeah, I don't have the info in, so it's going to make me do it. 1, 2, 3 Main Street, Talafofo, sure. Okay, so you're gonna go to leasing documents. It's already set. You don't have to change anything. Initial review. When you click submit, I get a notification that you want me to look at your documents. Now, when I log in and see your documents, I can send you notes, and the notes will pop up right here. It'll say, section 10.C. You missed a checkbox or whatever. I've submitted it back to you. So I've kicked it back, I've rejected it, and you need to fix some stuff. So when you fix the stuff, you go back up to the top, click the submit for review again, and the workflows are set up to where you should click leasing documents again, back to the initial review, click submit. It'll notify me. And let's say you sent me 5 different types of files. I could approve 4 of them and still reject the one back. You need to fix that one, send it back to me. After I've approved your initial documents, then you send them to your client for signature. Does that make sense? So basically everything you wrote is ready to go. You're ready for them to sign it. You send it out for signature. You have to share it with them. And when you share it with them this time, give them sign only. Unless you specifically need them to fill in the block, which you shouldn't because you should fill it in for them, sign only access. If there's 17 fill-in blocks and you click sign and fill, they're gonna have to tab through 17 fill-in blocks to get to that sign block. So sign only. Now, you've never shared this loop with me. You've only submitted it for review, right? So we made a couple errors, we made some mistakes, we fixed them, we submitted it back, it's approved. Now you send it to your clients and they've signed it. So now you have a half executed document, right? So now we send it to the other office and always click attach PDF when you send it to another office. So that way it gives them the PDF in their email, because a lot of the offices don't know how to work technology. So we don't want to give them something they don't understand. Just give them the PDF so they can put it to their stuff, get it signed. When you get it back and it's executed, that's when you start coming down here to drop your stuff in your required documents folders. These 4 spots for this scenario are just placeholders. There's nothing in there right now, but you can move your newly executed document. Let's say addendum 1 was fully executed and that's what you needed. If you move it here, it becomes that requirement. You can click right here and pull it from your computer if you downloaded it from your email, or you can email it into that folder, into this loop, and drop it into place. And then when you're ready, you have all this stuff here that's required, and the file's done, you've looked it over. What do you do, Peter?
You share it for review, or send it to review.
You what it for review?
Send
The
it for review.
closeout docs.
Don't share it with me. All that does is give me visibility on it. Come back
Review.
up here to the top, submit it for review. Your closeout, it's already set for closeout review, and hit submit. When you do that, that notifies me again that all your files, according to you, are ready to go, and we're setting this for closeout. Now, when I'm telling you that it's done, I will change the status of the folder to approved agent ready to be paid. And it's the same whether it's a lease or sale or listing. There's only 2 workflows, initial and closeout. I simplified it way down. So when you're looking to get your documents approved to send to the other office, it's initial. When you're ready for your file to be closed, it's closeout. And it'll say agent ready to be paid. It gives an automatic notification to Hillary that your file is done and that she should create the transaction to pay you out. Now, when she creates the transaction to pay you out, she tells me, and I change it to closed agent paid. You'll get another email saying that I've updated the status. When you see closed agent paid, you should be expecting your direct deposit within a couple of days. Is everybody clear on that, how that works? Do you understand the workflows that we've set up? There's only 2, initial and final. Jodine, you said you had a bunch of questions, you only asked one.
Well, it was mainly that one for now, Matt, because I need to send that application to my client.
Yeah, so just think about it like this. You don't want to overwhelm them with a bunch of information that they may not need at that time, right? So the only thing in your situation that your clients need right now is the application. So you don't want to send them the whole folder because A, it's not ready, and B, that they would get all this stuff and have no idea what dot loop is and what you're asking them to do. Keep it simple. Only give them what they need. Fill out as much stuff as you can for them. So that way it's just sign, sign, sign. The file's ready. It's approved and we're sending it to the other office.
Okay.
Peter? Chris,
Matt, were you calling?
what's that?
Did you call my name?
Yeah, Rick, you got a question?
No, not just for everyone, you know. So it is my first time, not even part of the team just yet, but a lot of the a lot of the things that you have available for Modern Realty, it's actually super great because I spent a lot of money in past experience for different stateside real estate companies, you know, and what all the resources that you have available is actually very phenomenal. So just want to just give you kudos on that. I'm not sure what else training that's available, but this is great. Just want to put it out there.
Appreciate that. All right. If no one else has any questions, we're over an hour, and I wanted to keep it to an hour under, so we're running long. This will be available on YouTube. You can watch this stuff on repeat at 1.5 times speed or 2 times speed. Just listen to it, or you can click to the point that you want to get to. I will start working on getting to the point where we kind of edit our videos down for training, or we give tick marks on the minutes of stuff that we're talking about, like general overhead topics. So that way you guys can go back and get a refresher. But utilize that playlist. And then for our newer folks, we are working on cutting down the title training, the pest control training, and the appraisal training. And that will be up on the YouTube channel as well. So when we had those vendors come in and talk to us, you can see what they said to us.
Is your YouTube channel a private group or is it public?
The channel's public. I think our playlist, I have to check to see what our settings are. I may have to share the link with you because I think for a while I had it unlisted so that it was only private to us. But other than that, unless anybody has anything else, I'm gonna call it for tonight, okay?
Hey, can you read my background?
Yes, looks great.
Like you can read it properly. It's not mirrored.
No, it's good. It says Modern Maria's Head, Guam.
Okay, I'm good. Thanks.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Bye.